Hey there, welcome. Today I have for you a Prescott real estate market update, and today I'm going to be showing you data directly from the sources that realtors use to price your home, understand what the market is, and I'm going to share that directly with you. We're going to walk through the March data, and everything is finished in March, captured in April, and now I'm able to share it with you. So all of this data is from Prescott, Arizona specifically. And what I'd like to start off with first is just talking about how is the market? Is it a hot market? Is it a cool market? And here you're gonna see from the chart above me, it is a very slight seller's market. And that is because we have 4.5 months of inventory. For the purposes of this discussion, they consider it to move into a balanced market around 5, and once we get to about 5.5 months, 6 months of inventory, that's when we begin to move into a buyer's market. What is a buyer's market versus a seller's market? Well, in a seller's market, typically the sellers are calling the shots. They're going to have potentially multiple offers, or they're going to know that when they go out there, there's going to be more than one buyer for their home. They may just have to wait for them. In a buyer's market, on the other hand, is when prices tend to be falling and sellers are really anxious to find that one buyer, and buyers have a plethora of properties to choose from and not much competition. We really like to stay in this middle zone as close as we can to this powder blue in a balanced market. That's where we're having some healthy appreciation, but things aren't crazy in either direction, and that is good for all homeowners. So let's get into it. Today in Prescott, when we look at the month of March, we had 4.52 months of supply, and that's up just almost 9% over last year. But that is a seasonal thing. We do expect supply to be going up, and demand is also going up as well, which is why we're staying right here in a soft seller's market. Now, how much are sellers getting for properties compared to what they ask? Well, it's actually very close at 98.2%. So when you see list price, typically sellers are going to get within 2% of that price. And we are looking at the whole market overall. It takes about 56 days for a property to get that right offer that sticks. And the sold price, we're going to go with a median sold price, which means half the properties that sold were above that price and the other half are lower. And that median sold price is $627,500, and that's up 5.5% over last month. Let's scroll down into a little bit more information about property values. This is always fun. So over the past 12 months, property values in Prescott have gone up about 1.6%. And in this chart here, you'll find a couple different things. One is to note, how does Prescott compare to Arizona and to the US as a whole? Well, Prescott is this blue line here, and you can see it's a little higher. Prices in Prescott, this is current and this is going to historical. Prices in Prescott tend to run a little higher than the state, the county, and even the US, with us sitting at that $666,000 versus Yavapai County sitting at 500 and it looks like the last month 548,000. But when we go to Arizona as a whole, it's 450,000, and the US as a whole is 370,000. So yes, housing prices in Prescott are higher than a lot of other areas, but that has been consistent. If you look, this blue line has stayed higher than any of the others consistently, and this chart goes back to 2008. So we have a lot of history here to look at. All right, so what is coming on as far as new listings? Well, in March 2025, we had 239 new properties come to the market, and the median size of those properties was 2,153 square feet. So again, half the houses are a little bigger, half is a little smaller, and this is down just a little bit, about 4% versus what came on the market last month. Now, list prices are a little higher than what we're seeing in our sales at $729,890. So that's about 3% up month over month. You can see that these prices have just kind of bounced around quite a bit in recent time, and it is not a market that's changing drastically. Okay, so when we look at this chart here is active listings. So we had our new listings, and remember, since it takes almost 2 months for a house to sell, you have some listings from previous months as well that are still on the market. So if we look at everything that was on the market in March, the median list price was 777, lucky number $777,000, and there was 589 properties on the market. So that means if you said, look, tell me exactly what is in Prescott, Arizona in March, I would have given you a list of 589 properties. Half of them were above that 777,000, half were below, half of them were over 2,300 square feet, half of them were below. So that's going to give you a little idea of where the market is as far as what does it cost to buy a home here. So we are going to skip through that, the pending listings here, and scroll down to the solds. So what actually sold in March in Prescott, Arizona? And the median sold price was $627,500. So a little bit below the price of what's on the market. And there were 140 properties that sold in March. That means people got their keys, and that's up 23.8% over the preceding month. Now that is very much because the market is cyclical with the seasons, and March is a much better time to buy or sell in Prescott because there's just more activity going on. The snow's melting, people are coming up, it's getting warmer in the valley, the weather is beautiful, and people are getting ready to kind of start moving. And we're going to continue to see increased movement in terms of more listings, more buyers in the next couple months. So we have currently about 4.5 months of supply in Prescott. We're at this point right here. And again, we're coming out of, I'm going to show you here, if we look at this chart and these troughs. So I'm going to go back to this one, which is January of 2021, where we had just 1 month of supply. Then we come to our next trough here. This is February of 2022, 1 month of supply. And then we go into the summer seasons in May, June, July, August, September, October, December, and then January. Even in 2023, I think we're right about here now, the supply dropped. And then spring comes and things warm up and we go up again. And then our next trough right here, the very last one, that was, well, maybe the last one, that one's January 2024 at 3.39. And then we go to January 2025, where we're sitting here at just over 4 months of supply. So you can see whether the market was an extreme seller's market where we had hardly no supply, or a balanced market where we are now. You have less on the market in January than you do in other months of the year. Okay, so what did sell in March? The public records are a little bit different than MLS. Our previous list was sold listings in MLS. I'm going to skip over the public records right now because that's going to include a lot of land and other things maybe that we're not going to be putting in. I don't want to make things a little more confusing and detailed. So that is an overview of what's going on in the Prescott real estate market. Now, of course, when is a good time to buy? That is always dependent on when the time is right for you. It's a combination of when you're ready financially, when you have the time, and sometimes when that right property comes up. So if you're thinking of buying or selling in the Prescott market, I would love to help you out in any way I can. You are welcome to give me a call or text. My contact information is listed down below, and I'm going to be doing, I hope you like this. So let me know, did you like this market update? Are you looking for more detail, less detail? I am happy to adjust. Of course, I'm doing this for you to help you understand the market, and when you are ready to take that next step and learn about the buying or selling process, please do reach out. I've got a video for that too. It's ODESSA KEILMAN with the Prescott Homeowner, and thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos like this. And I think in the next one, if you like this, I might go ahead and switch over and cover Prescott Valley. So thanks so much. Bye.